sudden, their opinion is more important than what has happened. But what has happened here is an assassination. And what people are failing to acknowledge during this is that this is really the first. Okay. All right. Go. This is the first time you said that you said Scotty, what the fuck are we doing? Just for real. I feel like this is an abuse. Now, this I got a headache. She said what she needed to say. Now she's running us down, and we don't have to listen to them. We don't get run down too. Trust me. Okay, the clap back. Yeah, I got it, baby. Okay. There's a difference between an assassination and a murder. And what we witnessed was the first assassination of a political figure that we've seen since the 1960s. No, that is not an assassination. That was a political murder. Yeah, that was a murder. An assassination is a murder of a person in a public space who is meant to be taken out. We haven't seen that since the 1960s. I'm sorry, but everybody who's claiming it differently is wrong. And there's a reason that he got assassinated, and everybody needs to take a deep fucking breath and take grace out of it and go back and listen to what he was saying. Because none of it was racial, none of it was anti-gay or anti-trans or any of the rest of it. The only thing he had to say was that we had to take back America and protect our younger generation, and I agree with him on that. Now, if you all want to come at me, and then I like. Yeah, okay, so let me just say something. I'm just going to say something. Okay, Robert, you gotta wait, Robert. Y'all making me sure people are actually right, but I don't have an option because it's going to be everybody getting shot. Robert got shot. I just want to tell you, nobody's on my side. I just wanted to hear the whole racist thing that she had to say. And what I'll say to you, and because I'll let black women address this, but for you to come up here and say it's a dumb black opinion or a black woman and she's all of those things are microaggressions, and the way they're about to treat you is how you deserve to be treated, because you came up here doing that shit. You know exactly. You look on you because I made a way for you. You look on you, and I'll wait till you do that. Please don't reply anything to me. Thank you. So you came up here, you did all the dog whistles, you performed, you lied, and you disrespected black women. You didn't have to do any of that to say your opinion. So the reason I let you speak is because I wanted everybody to hear an example of how if you let people talk, they will reveal exactly how racist they are. Now, y'all can get hurt. Nobody said to be no Utah white boy murdered in a damn family of Mormons that shot that man. That's not our fault. That's not a black woman's fault. So get off my
Definitely not. Okay, definitely not. The black culture's fault that Charlie Kirk got shot. Never said that. Never even implied that.
Do y'all know there's a Charlie Kirk movement? You guys are fucked. We got black people. You know what? I'm not talking about the turn and say stupid shit. So, Bella, I wanted to correct you about assassinations because you said that in order for something to be considered an assassination, it has to be outside the public. That's not true. I looked it up. The definition says that murder by sudden or secret attack, often for political reasons, the act or an instance of assassinating someone such as a prominent political leader. So that doesn't mean that by that definition, Charlie Kirk is not the one person that's been assassinated since the 60s. That's not true. And we just seen 2 senators in Minnesota get assassinated. That would be considered an assassination. Those were 2 political figures. So we can't say that. Furthermore, for me personally, I don't have a problem with people who did were a fan of Charlie Kirk, honoring him in their own way or whatever they want to do. But it just baffles me how it's the circumstance around it for me. The way that this man is considered a martyr, and that the fact that we're even having conversations about him being compared to MLK and Malcolm X. Because at the end of the day, you may not think that his speech was hateful or rhetoric, but no offense, you may not be in those set groups that might find offensive when he said it. So that probably might be the reason why you don't feel that way. But for some of us who are in those set groups, some of the things that Charlie Kirk did say were offensive. And so it is equally offensive to me to even hear that now, even in death, that y'all would compare him to somebody of a Malcolm X or a Martin Luther King, and then turn around and say that we as black people are the ones having a dumb argument. But you go on.
I'm really curious. What are you offended about what he said? Amber? Or Alpha? Sorry.
It's okay. The fact that he said that black women, the thing he said about the congresswomen and the women in Congress being incompetent, those statements about black women not having full brain capacity, those implicating that we don't have the same intelligence. His stance about DEI, not acknowledging the fact that the majority of DEI was benefiting white women, but still continue to use black men as an example to say that he questions their intelligence or their skill set level because they were a DEI hire. Those things are offensive. So yes, now does that mean that I think that he should have been killed? No, absolutely not. But to say that he said nothing offensive is a farce.
Okay. I get how to take specific things that he said out of context in clips and get offended by them. But when you listen to his entire arguments, especially the arguments that he had against anyone of any race, he always said, we're all one human race. He was always putting that.
When did he say, quote, we're all one human race?
Multiple times without due respect.
Quoted.
Oh my God. Okay. It's not that. If you look at his work, it's not that hard to quote. Oh my God. There's so many. Honestly. Yes.
A clip where Charlie Kirk says we are all equal.
He actually does. He actually goes back to
Why does he just have so much comfort? I just feel like much of this rejection. What is it? Show me the clip where he says he's equal to a tree. Show me that clip.
No. He was very clear in the fact that as being humans are part of society.
Congress. chapter and verse. Here's his own verse. Here's the clip. Here's the quote.
Yes, you can't later go in. You always cut it and then no, because you never let him finish his own thought. Every single person.
Okay. So you can come back up after I'm finished. And get sources. And yet you people say, that's not right, it's out of context, that's not the right talk, blah, 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 fucking blah. And then you come up here and say whatever fucking bullshit sounds good out of your own head, and you never have a fucking source, and you never have any fucking proof, you never have a fucking link, you never have fuck all, but yet somehow we're the ones who are the liars and misrepresenting everything. I come to speak something. I come to I wanted to speak to ideology, right? And so tonight. So this is your ideology that can I share, please? I'll shut up. I'm screaming up when I point it. You just shut if you come down to turn. Who's next?
Great Robert wanted to speak.
Come on up. I put the clip in he screams on an some guy was trying to be anti-gay, and then he sticks up for gay people. It's in the chat.
But if you look at his body of work, it's the same thing over and over. He's not. He's not racist. He's not any of those things. Like, it's wild to me that all of you have listened to the bullshit. Yes, it is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
That's how you can't hear all. He never thought he was gay. And he never thought he was a liar.
Yeah.
They're speaking against gays. Do you want to do this? Do you want to put them on the chat? Because here's the thing. You're
Absolutely hear it all. No, you're wrong, Spirit. You're wrong, Spirit. All I heard was sorry.
What's the rich in cash?
Exactly.
What was he mad? What was he mad about?
Oh, no. The reason that he was nasty is because everybody is afraid of the movement that he was starting. And so he shot him with stuff. Do you understand the movement? No. He was starting.
Yeah, because he has some shit. First of all, bitch. Hold on. What you doing about? I ain't gonna be no question on somebody in there now. What's up there?
And not of any sort of race, but not just that's what he did. And you know what? He also had every single senator, every single presidential candidate, all of them wanted him because he's the people who are speaking to you. And he was like, then God,
You're a liar. You're a liar.
I'm not a liar. He just got offered $150 million. Like, you guys are into this.
And you support
Denial.
This guy's not worthy of an anthology. He's not worthy of godlike status. In fact, I think it's really harmful. Kirk describes King as sort of a bad guy. It's true. And Kirk self-described very, very badly. View that the country made a mistake going past the civil rights act. Also true. Once a week we talk about why the civil rights act was a mistake. So
So yeah.
Can I say something about what he said? Hold on, I just wanted to let's look at that marinate for a second if you don't mind. blacks were, the crime rates of the blacks, they had it better underneath slavery. Man, that's prior to 1964. Right. And you tell me that, people are trying to let you know, man, I've been moderating, not speaking very much, and I'm about to go back to moderating, but look, when you have someone that's consistent with this type of rhetoric, there is an underlying hate, there's an underlying racism theme that binds Charlie Kirk's session. Anybody that's episode number 265. A candidate congressman, John Kitover, the 16th district, bringing your daily dosage of racial identity politics to you. Go back and forth with them, trying to see it from their vantage point. Now, I've been working through these MAGA groups for about the last 4 days. The posts that have the most likes and comments, right? This is not how I feel, this is just how it is, are always racially motivated. It will be a black person saying something anti-Kirk that will generate the most comments. And when you read the comments dehumanize us, right? They'll say things like, find it. Not find him. Be careful how I said what I said. Because I'm saying it verbatim. Find it. This is what I went to bed. Stereotypical. You'll die in the game or soon. You understand? This is a sentiment that you're trying to reason with. So let's take that into consideration. When you hear them try to spin the rhetoric and spin the narrative in their favor, although they know, truthfully deep in their soul, they know that this is a racially based and racially motivated speaker. They know that there's projection alert. Projection number one. Telling them something that they don't already internally know. They're just in denial and want to try to see if they can recruit a couple more or change a couple more minds. The idea that this man was some, paragon of public discourse and he just, was speaking for the youth and all this stuff. I mean, he's a certain type of reactionary right youth. People who wanted, women to be baby makers, not much else, and a whole bunch of other, very retrograde opinions. But yes, he spoke for those people. That's true. That's real. And he didn't speak for most people. He was hateful towards lots of people. There's a reason why he didn't have a reputation for being some great uniter in life. It's just absolutely ridiculous that people try to say this kind of stuff, like to sort of completely change who he was after the fact. He was who he was. Like, he was not a great uniter. He said all kinds of terrible things. He had the professor watch list to try to intimidate professors. He would put people on the watch list for, basically just saying any opinion that he didn't like. That's not free speech. It's intimidation. Bill Nye doesn't do that. This idea that Bill Nye is a nice guy. Just because he had some campus debates, or I don't know if they were debates necessarily. Sometimes they were debates. These discussions that he would host does not mean that he was some incredible champion for free speech. And most of what he said was just fucking terrible. Terrible. The idea that he was the anti-gay, while at the same time he was constantly spouting off about his vision of what family should look like that obviously doesn't include gay people. Like, that doesn't make any sense. The fact that he just randomly, apparently, would talk shit about Ketanji Brown Jackson and Kamala Harris and all kinds of black women would come up in his speech all the time, where black men were always prowling the streets to try to kill white men. I think that was something he said in the last week of his life. This is not it's just ridiculous to say these things. Again, didn't deserve to be shot, but just a piece of shit in life. And to take it a step further, one of the things I keep seeing, right, is the fight back thing, right? That when I'm saying I'm talking about as I go through the MAGA groups, right? Is the fight back thing. But this is the weird part for me. All the violence and all the insinuations of violence are coming from the right side. When I'm seeing different posts inside these MAGA groups, let us go door to door, declare civil war, we'll cleanse, we'll do a righteous cleansing, right? That's coming from the right side. that's insinuating violence and death. When they're marching evidence in each year, white men fight back, and then some of them are carrying arms. That's insinuating violence. It's illegal. I don't understand how the cops are allowing that. And they're not even naming who their threat is against because they can't. It's an open-ended sentence. White men fight back against who? The African American community has nothing to do with it. The left has nothing to do with it. It's just about to be one MAGA on MAGA because that's what the violence is right now. Alright? So you keep hearing this theme of being marginalized, and another thing I keep hearing them say is, we had enough. It's time for us to take a stand. We're not going to accept it anymore. Accept what? We're not advocating for violence. We're not celebrating violence. We're opposed to violence. But you guys are pro-violence, and you're trying to justify it. There's nothing scarier than the wrath of the love of a Christian. They'll give you a righteous death, a righteous, violent death. Right? You don't hear the left side saying, we have to fight back, get our guns together, let's go shoot, let's go be proactive, because we know they're coming after them. You don't hear that. You don't hear the violence. You don't hear the mob mentality. That is only coming from the right. So how can you fight back when nobody's fighting you? I would say it's not just the right, because I've been on blue screen and seeing some of the things that are coming is actually pretty despicable. That's one. Two, we can actually go and take a look. It was just a study. There was just a study done where they asked both the left and the right if it's okay for killing President Trump. And guess who? The left came back and scored and said yes, it is justified for killing the president of the United States. This is not fair, right? And what most people don't talk about too is that research. Is that actual? Yes, that's a super. That's an I'll post that's super interesting. Okay. Yeah. So again, it was people. I ain't going to say that I'm a stuff. I got to preface that. But there were no one stage, but there were people on Clubhouse saying that he had ketchup on his ear when he got shot. Both laughing, joking about that. We're talking about the president last year. And then we can go back to 2016, where you were seeing Trump supporters get their ass whooped on every single rally that was happening. Coming out, you had a lady named Beverly Beatty who was stabbed by Black Lives Matter, right? You had people getting their ass beat at 2020. I mean, so again, we know ADL numbers, but we know how to get them. But like the movement got together and decided to stay. She was in DC and she got Beverly, Betty, I don't know if you know her, Beverly Beatty, whatever how you pronounce her name, who spent prison time, right? Who spent prison time for being at an abortion clinic. We're talking about cancel culture. She was stabbed as well. So let's not pretend that it's only one side. I'm not denying the fact that the right does have these violent KKK, Nazis, but you have neo-fascists who are violent on the left. You have neo-cons. Yeah, right. You can say that when Antifa, who's been rioting for the last 2 months in Portland, right? You can say their cause of what happened in 2020. They popped it off after. You can say that the 20 people have been killed. The Antifa? No, this is one day. If you look at riots, I'm not finishing. No, I mean, you guys get a chance to speak. I mean, let someone else talk. I just want you to think about this for a second. I'm going to give the mic right to you. This is how it feels, except for people who rules on their jobs. Trying to voice your opinion, right? This is what I do. But you guys are pro that, and if you're considered an outlier, because when I'm in there, when I see people saying, well, he lost his life, fuck him if they lose their job, that's the general sentiment, right? And that will get thousands of likes and thousands of replies, and people sending screenshots of all the people that they actually were able to document and disrupt their lives, right? So when you see that, I want you to think about that. Everybody's fighting for a mic in here, but they don't want anybody to be able to express themselves. And less is Republican. Anytime a left or a Democrat, or even an independent says anything that can be remotely construed as anti-Tory, they're fighting. And that's the sentiment right there. Let's dox them. Let's create a website, Tory's murderers. Let's dox them. See if we can fuck their life up. That's what's happening. And that's also how can you advocate for freedom of speech while suppressing it at the same time? Still trying to feel about that. It's going back to Amari because I took it from him. Go ahead. I'm sorry. And I definitely go after it's wrong, right? So and you can look at people like Lane Kelly and others who, as soon as the Attorney General made that stupid ass statement, which is the dumbest statement ever you could make, and she should have been fired after the First Amendment. Many of us thought that was dumb. Many of us don't believe that. I think I heard Anthony earlier